Today we're going to be teaching you guys about two-step equations. These equations are going to ask you to find the value of a variable. A variable is a letter that represents a number that we don't know. Usually it's represented by x. So let's look at an example of one of these equations. 2x plus 1 equals 5. Now, in order for us to be able to find what x equals, we have to get rid of the numbers around it and move it to the other side. In order to do that, we have to use the concept of equality. Can any of you guys have a guess as to how we use the concept of equality in this equation? Angela?
The left side and the right side of the equal side have to match. They have to be the same number.
Yeah, that's very good. That's exactly what the concept of equality is. So you can think of the concept of equality as similar to the golden rule. What you do to one side of the equation, you have to do to the other side of the equation. So let's start by subtracting 1 from both sides. So this way, we're doing the same thing on both sides, and we're able to get rid of this 1 over here, because 1 minus 1 equals 0. So we get 2x plus 0, which we'll just leave blank, equals 5 minus 1, which is 4. Then, we can do the same thing except using division. So we have a 2 multiplied to the x to the side. In order to get rid of it, we have to divide by 2. So we can divide by 2 here, and we can divide by 2 on this side. So we get x equals 4 divided by 2, which is 2. And there we have our answer. However, just to test the concept of equality, let's do the same problem again, but with the steps reversed. Instead of subtracting 1 in the first step, we can also try dividing by 2. So let's just get rid of all of this, and there. Now, when we do any sort of multiplying or dividing regarding equations, we have to do it to each term on each side. So when we divide by 2, we have to divide by 2x, we have to do 1 divided by 2, and we have to do 5 divided by 2. That way everything is equal. So we will have 2x over 2, which is x, plus 1 half equals 5 halves. Now, we end up with some fractions, and it might look a little bit complicated, but it still simplifies down to the same answer we had before. So let's subtract this 1 half from both sides. We will then get x equals 1 half minus 1 half is 0, so we'll leave that out, and 5 halves minus 1 half, so that would equal 4 halves. Which is equal to 2. And so we have the same answer that we had before. So, according to the concept of equality, which we've basically just proven, no matter how you do it, as long as you do the same to both sides, you will end up with the same answer. However, to make our lives easier, usually we should use an order of operations when we do these problems. In most cases, it's easier if we do addition or subtraction first, and multiplication or division second. However, this is up to the person doing the problem, and whichever one you find easier, you should choose it. Now, I've come up with a cheer to help us all remember the idea of concept of equality. Repeat after me. Now let's remember the golden rule.
Now let's remember the golden rule.
Do the same to both sides, and then we're cool.
Do the same to both sides, and then we're cool.
Good job. Class dismissed.